Welcome to Your Schools. This is another great episode here on Community 7 Television. I'm your host, Dianne Parker, and we are joined today by Tammi Watson. She is a Skyview career coach. We are up here at Skyview High School. We are learning today all about career technical education. This is something that not only happens at the Career Center in town, but it's happening at all of the high schools. And a position that the high schools have now is this career coach like Tammi is doing. This is about your third year, and you've been here the entire time. Tell us what this position entails and kind of how you're helping the students.
Yes, absolutely. So it's really my job to help students discover what they want to do after they leave school district 2. And so we work with students in a variety of ways, and we start at the middle schools. And so the idea there is to really help students gain awareness and play in the sandbox a little bit. So we start them connecting them with employers, career fairs, sometimes employer speakers coming in depending on the year. We also begin them with our career platform, Zello. And that is a program we use where students get to play and talk about what do they like, what are the things they like, what are their skills, what are they good at. And so they begin to get an idea of all of the many careers that are out there. And from there, we like to get students involved in our pathways. We have over 10 pathways plans of study, so we can introduce that as they go into high school. And then we help them throughout from their first job so that they can build a resume and develop soft skills. And then as they go through high school, moving into some more in-depth experiences with employers to really explore and get experience through job shadows and internships.
Okay, I think this is so amazing. I mean, seriously, helping students with their first resume, their first job. I mean, you're truly making an impact. So thank you for all that you do. So what are some of those career pathways? I know you mentioned there's about 10 of them.
Yes. So across many areas, everything from STEM and IT to construction, business management and finance, hospitality, teaching. And so those are some examples. It really spans many different industries. And the idea is that if a student really is interested in one of those, they have a plan of study, they have a roadmap. So how do I go here to go there from here? They can take all of the classes. And some students like to play and dabble in a couple of different areas.
Okay, so when a student graduates from high school and they've gone through their pathway, how does that look when they graduate? Is there an official certification? Do they walk away with some college credits? What kind of things are they walking away with and walking into?
Sure, absolutely. So on their transcript will be listed the classes they've taken, and if it's a workplace experience, that will clearly be marked on there. And they do have, they'll walk away if they do take some dual enrollment classes, they'll end up with a college transcript and a high school transcript. So really it's noted by the course, but the student can see that, the student can show the college that depth and breadth of experience that they've had.
Okay, so the CTE students that you're helping, are most of them going directly into the workforce after high school? Are they going to college, a combination of both? What are you seeing?
You know, I have seen a mix. You know, some of them are ready to go get that on-the-job experience. We've had students do internships and be offered full-time employment, and some of them are going on to college. And that's one of the great things is students can really think about what career do they want and what kind of education or training do they want to pursue to get there. So it's really been all over the board.
Okay, so give us some examples of what the students are doing today. Like, what are you helping them with? What types of businesses are they going to work or maybe intern?
Sure. So right now there's one that we're excited about. Caleb Hamler is going to be going to Buchanan Capital in the spring as part of Molly Barda's managerial science class. And he'll be able to do a series of job shadows there. And right now across the district, we're helping students with over 40 job shadows, and it's ranging from engineering to welding to business type things, construction. And students are beginning to think about apprenticeships and explore some of those kinds of things. So a lot happening right now. We also have a few internship opportunities that are set up in construction. We have a business who just reached out wanting to set up an insurance internship for the spring as well. And we have a partnership with Dover Park, and they're offering one student internship for the spring if a student would like to focus in marketing or even landscape management. So that's exciting because that's a project that'll be built from the ground up.
Wow. Okay. This is so exciting. So, if students and parents are out there listening, what advice would you give them? How can they get involved with the CTE program?
So I would say just call one of the career coaches at the local high school, and we can work with your student individually and just begin to get some ideas, help them explore what they want to do, and then get them on a path. So contact one of us today, and we'd love to help.
Okay, wonderful. And I can't believe it starts in middle school. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting just to spark the interest. And I mean, as we know as adults, career exploration, it's a journey. And if we're doing it right, we're going to, look at our interests, see what matches, and it's going to evolve over time. And that's why it's so important to get students excited there. And then they're able to try some things and go out for a job shadow and decide, do they like it, do they not, and really begin to have make a more informed decision so that they can spend their time, energy, and money in the best way possible when they're done with high school.
Right. It's so nice that you guys offer all these different experiences. What are you hearing from the students themselves after they've been involved with these programs?
Well, it's so fun. I had a student actually who went out to a sales internship, and he came back and he was just so excited. He said, "I could see myself making a career out of this," and talked about how he could go into the finance side as well. And I'm just seeing students come back excited, and sometimes they do one. And then they come back and they say, "Well, Ms. Watson, I'm also interested in this." And so we set up another. And it's just fun to see kind of their journey, right? And where they go as they really get out there and experience. So it's amazing.
Right. So do you keep in touch with any of them or keep tabs? Do you know what they're doing afterwards? Like, are they headed out there into the world for college, for jobs?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a mix. I was just visiting with Mrs. Bart about one of the students we had worked with last year with a series of job shadows in banking, and he's at Bozeman right now and doing well. So it is just fun to kind of hear, where students are landing. But the program is it's early, but I really think that we're having an impact and we'll continue to build even more for students.
Okay, that sounds great. And for the business community out there listening, how can they get involved? What would be a good candidate for a business hosting a student? What are some of the qualities that you look for?
Sure. Well, we just love it when a business wants to mentor and take the time. It's really about passing along their knowledge and wisdom and sharing what they do. And so just somebody who's willing to do that. And what I like about our program is that we have job shadows to start with, which are a little bit less time consuming. Students go out for an afternoon or a day, and the employer can take them around, and it's often enough for a student to sample. So we're just looking for employers who are willing to share. And if they want to do something more in depth, and it might even help their workforce, internships can be fantastic. And that's more in depth. We do a learning agreement with an instructor and with the business. And so that's for a business who has a little bit more time. Maybe they really want to train a student. Maybe there's potential for a job afterward. Doesn't have to be. But for somebody who wants to spend a little bit more time to really help the students gain some solid experience and begin to hone that knowledge and craft.
Right. Okay. It sounds like there's just so many opportunities. Okay, well, talk to us a little bit more about maybe one of the career pathways. What's one of the most interesting ones that you've seen, and what are some of the classes that maybe stand out in your mind that the students get to experience?
Sure. Oh my goodness, it's difficult to pick just one. I mean, I will say that all of the pathways are amazing. We have such wonderful teachers across the district in the home high schools and here. I've worked a lot with the business pathway at high school and, at Skyview, in business and finance. And that has just been such a nice tie with BPA, with the co-curricular aspect. And so students are taking, classes in finance and accounting and managerial science and business in the 406, learning to be entrepreneurs. So that's a really fun one. And another one we have at Skyview is construction, and students are starting courses here at the home high school, doing some fantastic things, building things, having partnerships with businesses, and then they can go to the career center. But all of them are really interesting, and I just think they're all as unique as our students are. Another one that's fairly new that families might be interested in is our Education 1+3, and I mentioned that because that's one of our newest. And students can actually have a year of general education courses done before they get out of high school, and then they can take 3 more years at MSU Billings to complete their teaching degree. So that's kind of an exciting one. So as you can see, I'm excited about all of them and couldn't choose just one.
Oh my gosh, yeah. How could you choose just one? There's so many. Okay, that's so exciting about the teaching degree and making it only 3 years after high school. That's really amazing. Okay, so talk to us about the difference between CTE right here at Skyview High School, or really at any of the high schools, and the Career Center itself. Like, what would the students be going to the Career Center for? What kind of like pathways?
Sure. So all kinds of different pathways, and the idea really is that it's seamless, whether students want to be at the home high school a couple of years or all 4, or go to the Career Center, and it varies. So for example, students could go and do some medical courses out there. We haven't talked as much about the medical pathway, and do some job shadows through that program. They have a course in operating room. Students can do CNA or EMT training, so things like that. And they're just doing, they're just expanding from what they're doing here: automotive, welding, courses in interior design, agriculture, and those are just to name a few. So I don't want to leave any out, but it's really the idea that students can go and specialize a little bit more in some of those classes, or again, great opportunities here at the home high schools too.
Right. I know the CTE has a great partnership, and they build a home every year, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. See, all of the great things. Yeah. So in the construction program, that is one different thing here. They get a fantastic foundation here, and then they are able to move on, and they actually build a home that they sell every year. And so I think that's well known in the community, and that's an amazing program. And students learn various aspects of building, of construction, and some students are, their interest is piqued for even an electrical apprenticeship, things like that. So all kinds of opportunities.
Yeah, lots of opportunities. And it wouldn't happen without these amazing partnerships in the business community. I think it's a home builders association that the CTE partners with, and that's greatly appreciated for the students out there, and all of the businesses that partner. I know if you go to the website, you can see just so many jobs listed out that students can get. So that's just a number of business partners that CTE has out there in the community. So thank you to all of our business partners who've made all of this possible. Maybe talk to us a little bit more about another pathway that a student could take. I know you mentioned culinary. So there's an actual kitchen. Students can they can wear an apron, get messy, right, in the kitchen? Okay.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very fun one too. And so our students can take courses, and yes, they're learning culinary skills. One of the fun aspects of that program that the staff get to enjoy as well is we have a Cafe Blue. We've had it in previous years, and so the students make a full dinner, and staff can take a lunchtime and go down there and experience their table setting and the dinner that they've done. So that's a fun thing in some years that they have done. But yeah, it's just wonderful hands-on experience. And they also have FCCLA, which is similar to BPA, where there are competitions and they're getting hands-on experience. So some great programs there.
Okay, that's great. And I know that this all ties back into those soft skills that you were mentioning. Culinary, for example, I saw some jobs listed at the Yellowstone Country Club. Students could go out and be a host or hostess. I'm sure this is all helpful to that career pathway, but they do need the soft skills. So tell us, what exactly are the soft skills that businesses are looking for these days?
Sure, absolutely. So I think across the board, employers want students who can communicate really well and have a growth mindset, who are willing to learn and take direction, can work as part of a team, can work independently, showing up on time. So a lot of the things that we've always had, but I think right now the way the world of work is changing, that ability with the growth mindset and to adapt, to learn new skills, it doesn't end one day. You're always going to be growing. So those are some of the things that we're seeing.
Okay, that's good. I know with everything online and the remote working, so many skills that folks out there are picking up, and we've all been in the workforce for years, but we're learning new skills every day too. So, okay, well, that's wonderful that CTE is helping out so much, and your role as well. What has been one of the most rewarding things for you as a coach? I
just love to see the light bulb go off for a student, just helping them discover what they want to do, to gain some confidence in that, and to just be excited, excited about the future, excited about a particular career. So it's just really rewarding to work with all of the students here.
Okay, very good. And tell us about your pathway and how you got here. What were you doing before you were a career coach at Skyview?
Sure. So before I came to Skyview, I spent my career at MSU Billings and City College. So I worked in a lot of different areas there in student services, everything from academic advising to recruiting, and just working with families and students. I also had the opportunity when I was at City College to work with building some of the pathways and some of those CTE programs. So when this job opening came available and I saw the opportunity, it was just a wonderful way to dovetail my experience and come here to work with these students.
Okay, that's wonderful. And what are you hearing from the students themselves? Are they just loving the program and everything that they're doing here?
Yes, they're really enjoying it. Often they'll come back and say that they really enjoyed an experience. And I think, too, we're still working on awareness, especially since we have been in the pandemic. We were somewhat limited at times at what we could do, but I'm seeing it really pick up this year. Students are excited to see the opportunities, and they're beginning to refer their friends, which is really exciting. And so that's probably one of the best compliments that we can have, as people are like, hey, you should check this out. So it's really fun to see that growing.
Okay, what would you tell the students? You can give a little pitch right now. Try to recruit a few more, okay?
Sure, absolutely. So I would say, come and see me, and if you were thinking about a career, we will see if we can match you with an employer to explore that. So I would love to help you learn a little bit more about your career path so that you can make a decision as you're moving through Skyview and into the work world.
Okay, perfect. And what about for the parents out there? How important is their involvement?
So it's really critical. And I think that really this starts with not only in school, but conversations around the dinner table. So, and just dreaming about, what do you think you want to do? And maybe without the pressure of it. Sometimes students do put a lot of pressure on themselves to say, well, I have to choose this one right thing. And it isn't. They're going to grow throughout their life. So I would just say, parents, begin the conversation, dream a little bit. And, one great question you can ask your son or daughter is, what kind of a difference would you like to make in the world? What kind of an impact would you like to have? What would you like to do? And sometimes that's a little bit easier than just choosing a job. It begins to get them thinking about the possibilities. So dreaming and possibilities around the dinner table is a great start. And then referring them and letting them know about the services that we have. And also, we are bringing on something new for parents that I'd like to highlight, our Zello career platform. Soon parents will have access and be able to help their students look at career possibilities. So that will be another conversation starter.
Okay, that's really exciting. All right, well, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about CTE?
There's no limit to it. I mean, it really encompasses so much, and we just want to help as many students as we can. So it's not just one thing, it's all of these different career areas, and if you can dream something, we can see where the pathway is and get a student going on the journey.
Okay, maybe one last thing before we say goodbye for this episode. Take us through the timeline again. There's parents out there, their kids maybe aren't in middle school yet. I have a first grader, for example, but I want to be prepared. Like, what do I need to look out for? What are those major milestones?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even as young as grade school, there's always opportunities, when you're out somewhere to talk about what somebody does and just talk about the place that you're in. It's like little everyday opportunities. And then as students get into middle school, I do think it's time to start more about introducing them to volunteer opportunities. There might be things that they can do to learn, help encouraging them to take those career assessments seriously. They're going to have those actually in classes in the middle schools, and to explore the careers, visit about that. So those are milestones. Going into high school, it really is time to start looking at those pathways that we talked about and helping students to think about what classes they want to do. So really putting together a transcript that has academic work and volunteer, and just getting them excited about things. And if you may have people know in your life, and just having them talk about careers. But yeah, I think just in middle school, it's really time to get a little bit more serious, begin introducing them to practical experiences, and then in high school, having a plan of study and going from there.
Okay, and always making sure that you're meeting with a career coach, just like Tammi. And thanks again for inviting us by. It's been great to be here at Skyview High School and hear all about what you're doing to help our students and everything CTE related. There's a lot of great stuff going on right now in the community, in school district too. So thank you for all that you do. Yes, thank you for your time. And we will see you guys next time. This has been another episode of Your Schools.